Hello everyone. I guess you all are thinking why the video is named as 26. To know that, let's answer a few questions, shall we? What would you do if you see 80,000 kgs above your head? The second question, do you know what happens when a fan grows a tail? The third question, can you guess who becomes happy when crackers are exploded all year long inside a closed box? And finally, what do you call a rock that keeps falling but never hits the bottom? I suppose you are ready for the answers. So, what would you do if you see 80,000 kgs above your head? Would you run for cover? But first, let's think, what could be that heavy? Could it be a group of very large rocks like this? Maybe. However, can something like that be above our head? Not likely, right? So, what would I do? I would just ignore it and continue doing my work. That's because it may seem far-fetched, but that's how heavy a normal aeroplane is when it takes off. And they fly all around the world all the time. When was the last time you got scared seeing an aircraft? Now, do you know what happens when a fan grows a tail? It saves lives. You might be thinking, how? Can you guess where have you seen a fan and a tail like this? Yes, a helicopter. Without it, the helicopter will go into a spin like this. And whenever there are calamities, what is used to rescue stranded people or distribute food packets or even put down forest fires? However, just because a helicopter is this useful, don't get too close to it. Maintain a physical distance, or rather social distance, of at least 25 meters from it. Now, can you guess who becomes happy when crackers are exploded all year long inside a closed box? Forget about the crackers. Just imagine there are explosions inside a box. But what box am I referring to? This is the box, which is hidden inside each one of these vehicles. It is called as an engine. So what happens inside the engine? Either petrol or diesel explodes, which pumps enough power to run these vehicles everywhere. Thereby, it made us stop depending on the poor four-legged creatures. Won't you be happy if you are a horse because you didn't have to get whipped around every now and then? Finally, do you know what do we call a rock that keeps falling all the time but never hits the bottom? The answer is home, our Mother Earth. Every second, every hour, and all 365 days in a year, our Earth, along with us, keeps falling towards the sun. But at the same time, the sun is also moving away from us. I suppose it's confusing, right? Never mind, we can reserve that explanation for a future video. Getting back to the point, just like the Earth, all the satellites, including our natural satellite, the Moon, orbit the Earth and are always falling towards the Earth but never hit the ground. So now you know the answers to all the questions. However, did you realize that none of these answers would have made any sense to a person living 400 years back? Think about it. What made us progress towards technology then? Is it better science? Yes, no doubt. But how do we speak science? The answer is mathematics. And the part of mathematics which we are referring to today is calculus, the language of the heavens. Calculus made it possible to replace carts and carriages, allowing us to drive into the never-ending horizons. Calculus made it possible to build machines that lift us to unimaginable heights. Calculus made it possible for us to keep falling but never fail. You might be thinking at this point, Yalla okay, ಆದರೆ 26 ಯಾಕೆ? Alright, let's get to that. So do you remember which all numbers appeared in our discussion today? 80,000 kgs, 25 meters, 365 days and 400 years. But not 26. And yet the number 26 holds a special place for our discussion. When does a number become special for us? Perhaps if it's a birthday, anniversary, salary day, holiday, etc. But if 26 were to indicate age, then was that a special year for you? What do you think you might be doing at the age of 26? Or what were you doing when you were 26? Take a moment and think about it. Perhaps you are checking news, or were you looking for home loans? But most importantly, you might have been busy checking and updating status like everyone else. So, while most of us were busy seeking the society's attention, the world itself had been trying to get our attention. But no one in 1,000 generations had understood its language. Until one child, who sadly didn't have parents to look up to, developed a unique connection with the universe. And as this child grew, the connection flourished in the form of questions, and the answers to these questions manifested themselves as the calculus in the mind of none other than the young Isaac Newton, aged 26. Therefore, shall we all move away from encouraging algorithm-based mathematical culture and try identifying Newtonian sparks in our children and nourish them to relish mathematics? Thank you.